No matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkirika Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. How to avoid sad girl fall. We are officially starting our fall episode series. Can you even believe that summer's over? Actually, I can believe it because summer was a lot. I did so much and I feel like I had probably the best summer of my life, which we love that for us. But now it is September and it is time to start the cozy fall content. And I'm actually excited. I'm excited for another fall in New York City. This is my third New York City fall, and I honestly cannot even believe that. But here we are, 3 years later, about to be 3 years into living in New York City. So for the next few months, we are going to be talking about fall specific activities, some self-care, and how to keep our spirits up in fall. I remember the very first fall season I had in New York City. I had a lot of really hard feelings I was facing because I was still very new in New York City. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I was just trying to navigate this whole new life for myself and stay as happy and as positive as I could with navigating so many other things. So this episode is titled How to Avoid Sad Girl Fall, and it's really about how to lift our spirits up. But before we get into this episode, please take some time right now to rate Misunderstood, this podcast, 5 stars. It is extremely important for the success of the show to get more ratings. I see the back end, so many people, and truly so many people have downloaded this podcast, which is so exciting and makes me so proud that I put this out and it's being received very well. What you can do to support this podcast, a free and easy way, is to leave a 5-star rating on the show on Apple, Spotify, wherever you are listening. Thank you so much. Number 1, go on a trip, even if it's a day trip. I know a lot of people hear trip and they think, all right, I have to get on a plane and go somewhere exotic, go somewhere really impressive. That's not true. I love a day trip and I must do a few day trips here in New York City. We are going to do a fall bucket list episode, just like we did a summer bucket list episode. Those are really fun to listen to get some inspiration. So I'm going to leave that for that future episode. But what I will say right now is something about going on a trip in fall is so much fun. The foliage, the apple cider donuts, the fall crisp air, everything about it. Okay. Go on a trip this fall. Where I'm thinking of going and what I'm already starting to plan, if you are up to date on my social media, is Fall House. Fall House IRL. This is bridging off of my summer house IRL trip where I went to the Hamptons with 5 other girls who I met on social media. After the success of the trip, I already knew that I wanted to keep it going. And so I have already launched it on TikTok. If you're interested in learning about the journey, make sure to go follow my TikTok so you stay up to date about all the planning and everything that the trip will entail. But just to give you guys a little bit of breadcrumbs, we are going to go to Vermont. I've wanted to go to Vermont for so long, and also Vermont is the quintessential fall trip. You can get there on a flight, but honestly, I believe we're going to be driving there, and I'm so excited to drive through all the states and see all the beautiful foliage. Your girl is so excited. When you think about going on a trip, also try to consider your thresholds of what you think that you can handle budget-wise, social capacity-wise. If it's just you and a friend, that's amazing. If it's just you, go off, because you know that I love solo trips and you know that I'm rooting you on. Think about the places that you can go in your hometown if you want to stay local. Think about your transportation system. If you have an Amtrak that can maybe take you to other places. I know for New York, there's an Amtrak or a train for Boston, for Philly, which honestly, that sounds pretty fun to go to those places too. I've been there, but I haven't been in a few years, and I'm like, well, I'm in New York and I can honestly get almost anywhere on the train. That might be something that I also plan. So let that be your sign to look into places around your hometown. If you want to budget for a trip, absolutely send it. Fall is such a beautiful time to go travel. And also a really fun thing about going on the trip in any season, but specifically as we're talking about fall, it really helps you get out of that sad girl mindset. Because when you have something to look forward to, your brain always turns on that excitement. Even if you're dealing with something right now, you have something to look forward to. And that is something that everyone should be focusing on, what you're looking forward to rather than what you're currently experiencing. And yes, that is a two-sided thing. Yes, it's important to be present, absolutely, in your life as it's happening in real time. But if you are feeling negative feelings about right now and what you are experiencing, it is very, very helpful to then pivot into future planning, future thinking. It gets your brain out of that negative mindset, and it's really fruitful to then get to plan a trip. Planning trips are so much fun. I know a lot of people might not love the actual planning that goes into a trip, but I'm talking to the girls who love planning trips like me. It's so fun to make Pinterest boards and make canvas about your outfits and really lean into it, because romanticizing your life is what we must be doing every day. Number 2, see a friend at least once a week. This one is something that I am trying to really, really work on. I have mentioned in past podcast episodes that making friends in New York City specifically has been an uphill battle. I'm a very one-on-one, highly in-depth person, and a lot of people who I meet in New York City are very transactional, unfortunately. They are not willing to put in the time and effort it takes to forge deeper friendships. I'm here to say I'm still trying. I have not given up. I'm clearly still in New York City and still wanting and craving community. But what I have been doing is setting up weekly meetups in my Misunderstood group chat. I've mentioned our Geneva group chat so many times. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode, and it is open to all members of the pod. Especially if you are in New York City, I highly recommend joining the Geneva group chat, because as I said, I'm committed to creating and hosting weekly events, and they range from things that are free, things that you have to pay for, but nothing is ever a crazy amount of money. And it's just a great way to see new people, see fresh new faces, to switch up your day to day and be around people. It is comforting to be around other people. Let's not try to downplay community and relationships. Being on your own is great. It really is. I used to live by myself, and I spent a lot of time by myself, which allowed me to learn a lot about myself, which is very important. However, being with other people is part of the human experience. We all need other people. Make the effort to go see other people at least once a week, even if it's the same friend, or even if you only have a few friends, rotate them or do something as a group. See at least one friend once a week, and it will, again, give you something to look forward to. It will lift your spirits in some way, because then you are not just stuck in your own head. You get to bounce ideas off of people. You get to just talk about silly stuff with other people. It is very, very, very good for the soul, but it's also good for your mental health. Number 3, make a seasonal beverage. Guys, I love when the fall stuff comes out, the chai, the cinnamon, the pumpkin. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to make an at-home iced vanilla pumpkin matcha. I'm saying it now for accountability. You'll see it somewhere, either on a TikTok or in a future YouTube video. I have to say it so I hold myself accountable. I want to make a seasonal beverage that is my staple, but I also want to try new ones. So I'm going to have a whole Pinterest day where I'm just sitting in my room for hours looking up fun recipes. And yes, it doesn't have to be a caffeinated drink. You can make a mocktail, a cocktail, whatever. But I'm thinking about, okay, what can I look forward to every morning? I think that you're sensing a theme. When you're sad, you must have something else to take your mind off of being sad. You must have something to look forward to. So making a seasonal beverage will get you out of bed, maybe just start to kickstart your brain a little bit and think, all right, what kind of drink can I make today? What supplies do I have? Do I need to go get supplies? All right, let's take a little romantic walk to Trader Joe's, go smell the flowers, maybe grab some flowers for your apartment, for your house. You see where I'm getting at. Iced vanilla pumpkin matcha. That's the first one we're going to try. I'm going to look for others. If you have any fall drinks that you love, and I mean you love, like you love, you're a stan, please comment on this episode and or send me a DM on some social media. I would love to hear because I'm looking for some recs. I can't have caffeine. I've mentioned this before. Matcha is really the only semi-caffeinated drink that I can have, but let me know your recommendations. Number 4, take up one new hobby. I absolutely loved doing this in summer. I took up crocheting. I also read a book each month, which really got me out of my own head and got into another world, which I absolutely love. I also did some watercoloring. In the fall, there are a lot of activities that you can do, and the difference between activities and a hobby is an activity is more of a one-time thing or once in a while thing, and a hobby is more regular. So when I think of a hobby for fall specifically, I do want to do more with my hands. I am a very pen to paper type of person, and it just allows me to turn off my brain a little bit and kind of pivot it to something else. I like the idea of coloring, painting, and I do have some coloring books. I want to get a fall themed coloring book. I got a summer themed coloring book and I took it to the beach, and that was super fun. So maybe that's what I'll say. My hobby for fall, at least one of them, will be coloring, and coloring includes markers, obviously. So let's start there. My hobby for fall will be coloring, and it'll just be fun to take a coloring book to the park, sit and listen to music while I color for an hour. I think that's so fun. Another one that I think about for fall is going on a hike. Going on hikes in the fall is probably the perfect time to go because it's not too hot, but it's also not freezing like winter. Fall, I think, is the perfect time. And then you also get to see the pretty foliage. I will try to go on one hike this fall. I've been wanting to go to Cold Springs so bad. That has been on my bucket list since the spring. So we do have to make our way over there, and maybe I will put that as a future Misunderstood Geneva group chat hangout. Number 5, morning walk or run, whatever is your journey. As I've mentioned, I am a runner and I love the idea of going on morning runs. You also know, if you've been listening to every single episode of Misunderstood as they've been coming out, I did injure myself in June. And as I am recording this episode, we are at 9 weeks post injury. My knee is not 100% healed, so I know that I will have to do a follow-up with a surgeon. But for now, it is okay enough to run very slowly. And when I say very slowly, it's slow for me. Actually, while we're on the topic, I did run a 5K 2 weeks ago, and I was at a 12-minute mile, which for me, again, that is slow. I'm not saying that's slow in general, but for me, who has run a 9-minute mile, 12-minute mile is obviously significantly slower, but I had to remember that this injury is impacting my performance. That is the only thing standing in the way of me and how fast I used to run. And mind you, I started my running journey at an 11:30 pace. So clearly, my body knows how to get from a slower pace to a faster pace. That comes with consistency, that comes with work and time, and also overall just having grace on myself. So I know and I believe that I will get back to my optimal running abilities in time, but I'm not putting pressure on myself to get there immediately, because I still have an injury and I still have to slowly recover. So for now, I'll probably just be doing morning walks, maybe some morning jogs, but I love the idea of waking up first thing in the morning after brushing my teeth and grabbing some water, is changing, going outside and letting that crisp air hit my skin, AirPods blasting in my ear, and it's me against New York, and I am so excited. If you are not into morning walks, morning runs, try to do some type of physical activity in the morning. I have found that physical activity in the morning really, really helps with your brain chemistry, with how you approach a day. It does start in the morning. So if you're moving your body in the morning, that already gives your body some time to settle. And studies say, although obviously I'm not a doctor, but studies do say that moving your body in the morning will immediately get that stuck negative energy, that anxiety out of your body, which that is another prerequisite of being a sad girl. We are having these feelings inside of us that we simply just need to shake out. So starting your morning with moving your body in the ways that work for you will go such a long way. And number 6, update your look. I'm talking about a whole fall overhaul, glow up, if you will. I'm talking outfit, hair, makeup. Something I love about fall in specific is I think fall has the best fashion. I will say that right now. I think fall is the best season for fashion. Right now, I'm actually wearing a sweater on top of a mini dress and I'm wearing boots. And that is a fall outfit, okay? To really lean in, I think that fall is where I really lean into my style, and it's really fun to add a few layers. I love wearing boots. I have way too many boots, but I love wearing boots and I love the chunky knits. I love the darker colors like burgundy and brown and gray. I can't get enough of it. I'm very excited to just have fun with my wardrobe again, play with my wardrobe again. I recently said that for fall, I am pretty much staying in New York City. I'm not doing any huge trips. And if I am, I'm just doing one. But for the most part, I'm staying in New York City. So I really get to have fun with my closet, play around, put together outfits. It's so much fun to lean into that form of self-expression, and it will, again, help you be less of a sad girl. For hair, I find that getting a haircut or a hair trim or even doing a gloss or updating your hair in some way, big or small, will do wonders with how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your confidence. I already have an appointment on the calendar to get my hair trimmed mid-September. So we're going to be looking fresh. Our bob is going to just be so cute and precise. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually also truly loving my short hair. I mentioned this on a previous episode about change. Was such a big change for me to have my hair this short, but it is now the healthiest it's ever been, and I'm looking forward to seeing how many ways I can style my bob. I've searched on Pinterest. All of the literally prettiest girls ever have a bob. If you literally just type in bob on Pinterest, you will be blown away. Everyone is gorgeous. So that has already helped my self-confidence tremendously. And for makeup, it's so much fun to dip your toe into deeper colors. I think in summer, for me, I find myself wearing brighter colors like brighter pinks, brighter oranges, shimmery colors and tones. But for fall, I do like a more deep muted tone, like a deep berry lip, also deep berry lip liner, kind of deeper shadow on my eyes, a darker winged liner. It's so much fun. I actually love going to Sephora at the top of every season and just picking out a few things. And when I say a few things, I know that could maybe sound like, oh, she's picking up a ton of stuff. No, I'm not. Sephora is expensive. I am a VIB Rouge, so you don't even want to know how much I've spent at Sephora in a calendar year. But I do like to pick up one new little blush and maybe one new lip color just to really lean into the new season. Also, a lot of people sleep on this. A lot of people don't use Sephora as it is intended to. Okay, listen closely. At Sephora, the sales associates literally are there to help you. It doesn't matter if you know where your item is. You go into Sephora for the whole experience. Number one, go to a sales associate, introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm looking for some new colors for the fall. Can you help me? They will literally spend 20, maybe 30 minutes with you. This has happened to me, and this is why I'm telling you this. They will literally swash everything on your face, on your hand. You'll compare brands, compare colors. It is so much fun. That is so much fun to go through that whole train of experiences because you're literally learning more about what looks good on your face, and that builds your confidence and helps you be less of a sad girl. And then also, something that honestly more people need to be talking about is at Sephora. If you spend over $75 in one transaction at Sephora, you are entitled to a makeover at Sephora. Okay. A lot of people don't talk about this, and I have not even taken advantage of this in a while. I haven't gotten my makeup done at Sephora in like 2.5 years. Maybe I'll go do that when I go on my little Sephora fall haul. But what I will say is take advantage of these things because you're already spending the money. Why not get something else out of it and have fun? You can literally just get a whole makeover with products that you don't have to pay for because you already paid for things that you actually need. So it's just a fun way to play in Sephora. And again, what a confidence booster to literally have a Sephora makeup artist do your makeup, and then make sure you time whenever you are doing your Sephora makeup appointment with a day that you're going out or going to dinner or doing something after, so that you can really live in it. You can take photos, you can get all dressed up, make it a whole event. Okay, because we are romanticizing our lives, y'all. This whole episode is really reminding you that you don't have to stay a sad girl. Fall can be a little tough. I'll be honest, fall can be a little tough because we are also getting into cuffing season, which will be a whole other episode, don't you worry. But I hope these 6 items really helped you reframe this season and not dread it. Sometimes I've dreaded fall because it makes me think, all right, well, we're getting into the holiday months and we're getting into more of the idle time, but that doesn't mean that you need to go into your hole and get depressed. Nope, I'm here to literally grab your hand and pull you out of it. We are going to have a great fall, and we're going to have a productive, uplifting, happy fall. And I'm very excited to take you guys along this journey. Say it with me. You will not be a sad girl this fall. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Please remember to rate the show 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, and follow it wherever you are listening. Join our Geneva group chat. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. We also have a jot form linked in the description of every podcast episode where you can leave any comments, you can say hi, you can ask questions. I would love to hear from you. Hang out with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest at NK Madani. And I will talk to you guys in my next one.